Question 8. So, common factor of 2, common factor of 2. I therefore have to take out 2. So 2 divided by 2 will leave me with 1m. 6 divided by 2 will leave me with 3. The only thing that features here with a bracket of 2 and an m plus 3 is going to be this one. So it should be this one. Right then, number 9. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Minus 2, 3, 8, 13, 18 was an expression for the nth term of the sequence. So what I would do here is I would write out the difference, write down n, and then I want to work out the term that comes before the first term, which we call the 0 term. So to get from 2 to 3, I add 5. To get from 3 to 8, I add 5, and so on and so on and so on. So I would put 5 there and then an n there. Therefore, it must be one of these 3 answers. Then, if I go against the arrow, the opposite of plus 5 is negative 5. So I need to do minus 2, take away 5 for minus 7. So it has to be that one. Number 10. When we get to this situation, when we divide fractions, we are allowed to technically write it as this: 6 over 15 multiplied by 10 over 9. I can go one step further here. By writing it like this, I can now apply something called cross-cancelling, which tells me, of course, that if there's a factor on the numerator and the denominator, I can get rid of it. So 10 and 15 share a factor of 5. So actually I can technically divide both of these by 5. And 6 and 9 share a factor of 3. So actually the calculation I'm left doing is 2 times 2 over 3 times 3, which is 4/9, leaving us with A. Number 11, we've got a big rectangle and we've got a small rectangle. The big rectangle is 7 times by 5 for 35. The small rectangle is 4 times by 2 for 8. The shaded area must be the difference between the big rectangle and the small rectangle. So the difference between 35 and 8 is 27. So it must be B. Okay, number 12. Now with bearings, it's really important to understand the differences between what this says and what it actually means. What is the bearing of A from B really means B to A. Now obviously with bearings, you have 3 figure degrees from the north line clockwise. So actually, I want this angle here. Now, angles on a straight line add up to 180. I'm told this angle, so it must be this one. So I've got 180, add 60 for 240. What is 300 when written as a product of its prime factors? Well, I could do the factor tree, but I don't have much space. So to combat this, I'm going to do 3 times by 100, which is the same as 300. And I know that that's really the same as 3 times by 10 times by 10, which I also know is the same as 3 times by 2 times by 5 times by 2 times by 5. And obviously I can group the 2's and I can group the 5's. So I'm looking for the one that has 2 squared and a 3 and 5 squared. So it should be this one, number 14. Need to multiply everything in the first bracket by 2. So we have 2x minus 8. And technically, with this minus sign, there is a 1 that is in front of this bracket. So minus 1 times by x is minus x. Minus 1 times by positive 3 gives negative 3. Now, like the question I did before, I am then going to make a point of ensuring that the things that are the same get circled by the same shape. So 2x take away 1x is x. Negative 8 take away negative 3 should be negative 11. So it should be this answer. Number 15. What is 23.0651 when written correct to 3 significant figures? So 3 significant figures means I need to go across 3 places. So really this question is asking, what is this number to the nearest 10th? I've got 0. I look at the hundredths column, 6 rounds up, so it should be 23.1. Therefore it should be C. (16) Factorise completely. So common factor that's here is 4x, because common factor here is 4x, so I have to take out 4x. Now, some of you might take out 2, which is perfectly fine, but you then not fair for taking out the highest common factor that you can. So the highest common factor of this is 4x, and the highest common factor of this is also 4x, so I must take out 4x. So 4x times by what gives 4x squared? Well, it's 1x. And then 4 times by what gives 12? Well, it's 3. And obviously, x divided by x is 1, but I've been left with a y. So I need to find the answer that says 4x, bracket, x plus 3y, close bracket, which is this one. Number 17, what is the total surface area of this prism? Now with all surface area questions, if it was me, I would draw the net by effectively cutting along all the edges and deconstructing it down to its 2D, sort of like, shapes. So I've got a triangle here that's 6 by 8. So I've got a 6 here and I've got an 8 here. I've got a 6 here and I've got an 8 here. All right, this bottom sort of like rectangle here is like 6 by 4. We've then got a 10 here and a 4 here, and then we've got an 8